welcome to Breakfast Central here on News Central Television on a fantastic Wednesday.
Thursday.
Wow. Okay. Thursday.
I know we confused you.
And
we told
to
you.
all our viewers across the world, we apologize for slightly starting behind schedule. We're tidying things up so that we can make the show as perfect as we can for you. It's not you, it's us. Okay?
What was that?
It was it's not there for
man, those were relationship statements.
It's
not you, it's me.
It's me.
Even when they know that it's entirely. Actually, it's oftentimes it's.
Have you ever been heartbroken before?
Oh yes, now.
Somebody as beautiful, as diligent, as intelligent as you. How dare they?
How dare they?
Name and shame, please. What's the name of the guy?
Number one. Okay, I'll do that.
Just first name. So, upcoming. I have a daughter now. So our daughters can beware of men named. Is there a Femi there?
No. Interestingly, the best treatment I've gotten in this life is from one of the people named Femi.
Oh,
I don't have a terrible experience with Femi.
Yeah, that's true.
Femi is such a great.
So just give us. Yeah. So Joe and I will go and tell our daughters that. Please
anytime you hear
is that John?
Flee.
Is that John?
Name names they can't know now. How many? Olive, call them out. No surname, just give us names.
Because they may be watching this show. Yes, then this is one that will now go viral. All of them will now be like,
And next time you stop breaking people's hearts.
Please, in case.
Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. I wish I still had myself. I would have given you.
But you know the good thing. But you know the good thing about those who have broken my heart. Because when I finally get to meet the one, I can say, God bless the broken road that led me right to you.
Oh, wow.
Okay, away from relationship.
Anyway,
welcome to Breakfast Central. This morning, we are not officially resigning from Breakfast Central to any other show. The only person officially resigning is Atiku, but we'll come to talk about that in a moment. My name is Olive Emodi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the show.
Absolutely. My name is Joe Hansen. Welcoming you to today's broadcast, because aside from those who are resigning, we also have a response that was given to us yesterday. His Excellency Gregory Peter Obi decided to pay a condolence visit to the house and the home of the late former President Muhammad.
I heard that two of you were here dragging him for not
dragging him, but we're highlighting the fact that he wasn't there.
Conspicuously missing.
Yes, but this time he didn't go alone. Just yesterday, he went with the entourage of Senator Atiku Abubakar, also the movement,
also
the
Labour
movement
Party,
of the Labour Party. And it was indeed, well documented.
Yeah, and it's still part of the funeral service, because yesterday happened to be the third day prayers for the late President Muhammad Buhari. The Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was also there as well. They're right, still a beehive.
One of the criticisms that I had seen against Peter Obi was the fact that he said Pope died. You went all the way to Rome. This one that's within your vicinity, you didn't go and visit him. But the truth is, it's political season.
But he said he had logistics issues. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not holding brief for Peter Obi, but if you know Peter Obi well enough, from his antecedents, you can see he's the kind of person that will always show up. Peter Obi will always show up to support, to extend a helping hand. He would call it whatever you want. You can call it acting or whatever, but he has been consistent in showing up in cases like this. So I believe him if he says he had logistical challenges. I don't think that.
I mean, and besides, honestly, he really doesn't owe anybody. Person of the late president, his status, yes, but he could decide to send a condolence message.
I don't agree with that.
Is he a government official?
I don't agree with that, because he's vying for the highest office of the land. So every action that he takes will be put under a microscope and thoroughly analyzed.
Have we ever had any opposition leader as thorough, as consistent, as hands-on in the history of Nigeria? Since the last day of since the swearing-in of President Tinubu as president, he's been consistent.
Some people will say Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
No, I mean Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that used to travel to Dubai, then come back home, penultimate year to a general election, and then start. He had a laissez-faire type of, I'm a big man type of air about him. He'll release statements but it's hardly
I wanted to say
ground.
yes. Because
We've
when you
never had, I mean, this Fourth Republic.
But when you ask what exactly is opposition, when you ask exactly what an opposition is or what you expect opposition to do, because we've had
that is consistent, hands-on. Okay, what's the person's name?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Nah, he doesn't. I mean, it's one thing to be vocal, it's another thing to be there, right there.
So the question now is, what will constitute an opposition? An opposition would be somebody, or the act of being an opposition would be taking the policies of the government, dissecting it, looking for ways in which you can provide better solutions, which I think
and then when disaster happens, or when there's something worth celebrating. He was at the Super Eagles game in Abuja.
Is that one sharp? It'll be his first position.
Yes, it's always. I mean,
he's always there. He's always done
money to victims of disaster. You know, physically being present to offer them some sort of support.
And with the way in which they keep tearing him apart, even when he goes with the best of intentions, he goes to visit these people and they will still tear Peter Obi apart. I mean, a regular person would have said, you know what, I'm not doing this thing again. I'm going to do my position with press. But it feels like every other day, Peter Obi, you can't even, and if I'm being, without being biased in any way, shape or form, if you want to analyze, I mean, we've just seen the picture of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and I think he's done great work in terms of opposing with letters and standing out. But if you want to look at the politician that has gotten the most flack, you know, who has been put under so much criticism and analysis and even support from Nigerians, I think Peter Obi is it.
Do you know why he's getting that amount of flack? Because he's doing a good job at his opposition work. So you shouldn't look at it like it's getting flack. It's just, you expect the ruling government not to fold their hands and accept all criticisms that is coming from him. It's payback, it's politics. So you say this about me and then you expect a response. So it's the response we're getting, not necessarily intellectually backed or factual. It's just, you know, put dirt on his name.
Aside from those who are resigning, we also have a response that was given to us yesterday. His Excellency Gregory Peter Obi decided to pay a condolence visit to the house and the home of the late former President Muhammad.
I heard that two of you were here dragging him for not...
well, no, not dragging him, but we're highlighting the fact that he wasn't there.
Conspicuously missing.
Yes, but this time he didn't go alone just yesterday. He went with the entourage of Senator Atiku Abubakar, also the movement,
also
the
of the Labour Party.
The Labour Party. And it was indeed, you know, well documented.
Yeah, and it's still part of the funeral service because yesterday happened to be the third day prayers for the late President Muhammad Buhari. And the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was also there as well. Yesterday. They're right, still a beehive.
One of the criticisms that I had seen against Peter Obi was the fact that he said Pope died. You went all the way to Rome. This one that's within your vicinity, you didn't go and visit it. But the truth is, it's political season.
But he said he had logistics issues. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not holding brief for Peter Obi, but if you know Peter Obi well enough, from his antecedents, you can see he's the kind of person that will always show up. Peter Obi will always show up to support, to extend a helping hand. He would call it whatever you want. You can call it acting or whatever, but he has been consistent in showing up in cases like this. So I believe him if he says he had logistical challenges. I don't think that.
I mean, and besides,
he said the former vice president, his ambition to become president has, in other words, blinded him from being able to distinguish when to do things and when not to do them, especially looking at the fact that there's a demise of Nigeria's former president. It wasn't the right time for him to have announced that he has left the PDP.
He said that apparently that letter was signed a day after President Buhari had died, so that he showed that he wasn't very sensitive. Not only did he criticize that, he also criticized the fact that the letter was signed with the coat of arms and saying that that's an offense.
Yeah. And I mean, as a former vice president,
he seems to be a representative of the government. He seems
he still has national honors.
Yes.
I think he's a GCO, and if I'm not mistaken, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So I don't think that is. But for the other issues, it's debatable. You could say, life goes on, and others could say you could have waited for the 7-day official mourning period.
Yeah. But those who are supporting him will say he did it right on time because former President Muhammadu Buhari was a leader in the north. and this is some sort of a move to consolidate his leadership in the north. You know, so being able to say that the Northerners can look at him and look up to him. So what a number of people
there are
have said,
other Northern political leaders.
yes, but I mean, part of what they're saying now
you
is
could
that
say
this is,
self-appointed leader of the North.
his followers do not agree with you.
Yes, and the followers of other top Northern politicians
will also not agree as well.
Also not agree. So it depends on which lens you're using.
Back to the statement Festus Keyamo made, he went ahead to say, I mean, whilst he acknowledges that he has a constitutional right to actually change political parties, there you have it. It says, at any time you may wish. However, releasing your letter of resignation from the PDP during this week of the morning of our immediate past president, Muhammadu Buhari, is clearly an attempt to draw the spotlight away from such a solemn occasion and direct it on yourself. In fact, as the image below shows, you prepared, typed, signed, and delivered the letter the morning after the passing away of the former president was announced. With the greatest respect to you, this clearly demonstrates that your obsession with your perennial presidential ambition knows no sympathy or empathy. I want us to pay attention to this next paragraph where he says that, and since we are on the issue of your letter, it is both morally and legally wrong to continue to use the coat of arms of the federal government in your private or political communications when you stopped being a functionary of the federal government more than 18 years ago. Section 6 of the Flag and Coat of Arms Act, okay, Cap 430 F 30, I beg your pardon, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 makes this an offense. Okay, so I have a burden duty, both as a cabinet member and a member of the inner bar, to protect our laws and constitution. Please be well guided. So I think the minister has been able to make it clear how he feels, especially about the letter, and then going straight to ensure that the laws are being upheld. And that's why he highlighted that part of the law, stating clearly and categorically why the former vice president shouldn't be using the coat of arms, shouldn't be using the stamp, whatever it is that he puts on the letter, as long as it doesn't have to be associated.
Because I was going to ask, the natural question that comes to mind
he's left government.
Who asked him to write that letter? In what capacity is he writing that letter?
He mentioned,
he has mentioned that as a cabinet minister,
as a cabinet minister and member of the inner bar.
So but Olive too can decide to pen such a letter.
But I also want to ask.
Of the bar.
I also want to ask. I mean, why? I don't have I don't take a stand. I mean, I'm neutral. We're neutral as journalists.
We just
our job is to ensure we highlight, look at the
analyze.
angles. But one of the angles I want to highlight here is, while we are looking at what the minister has said, it's been long since we heard the minister speak on the Natasha Akpoti-Udogwa case. Or is he not is he not following the law too? Why hasn't he spoken on that issue? So that the National Assembly too can respect the laws.
Aviation and aerospace, please.
But with the letter written, it's a political letter. So why would he now leave? I mean, and then
he doesn't want to speak
also
on
the
too many issues. There are other people that can speak on that. Also, he doesn't want to delve into the realm of legislative affairs. Okay. Right? He understands
principles of separation of powers.
And even the supremacy of the law over the rulers. And you're supposed to be a lawyer in your former life. You're a lawyer. So...
no wonder you're always fighting for coffee.
But the truth is that, I mean, that's another conversation that we're looking at later today.
But before we go to the reactions, I also want to point out one thing. Mr. Keyamo is Minister of Aviation and Aerospace. And just over the weekend, in the city of Port Harcourt, an aeroplane skidded off, veered off the tarmac into the bush. So why has he not reacted to that issue?
I can't say so. I don't know that he has not reacted.
He might have reacted, but that should be priority for him. There's a spokesperson in the APC. There's a minister of, there's a spokesperson, and there are people that should naturally react to such moves. Publicity secretary too. So
I think sometimes we also forget that at the end of the day, they're also politicians. They're on the cabinet, and every once in a while, you know, that inner urge
to fire,
to always come out, you know.
Always comes out.
Beyond everything else, or before everything else, before they are cabinets or whatever, they are politicians. Our politicians always trust politicians to politic. So I think that he's
Have you ever seen the finance minister, Mr. Wale?
You don't have time for such.
Comment on
you don't really have
such issues that are outside finance.
But you know why?
I mean, we can cut Mr. Wale with some slack. He's not standing as a front runner, as a politician, saying, okay, I'm a politician, I'm going to vie for office and so on. He was selected
from the private sector.
From the private sector. You know, even though we knew he had worked with the president while in Lagos State, you know, while he was
but he can also comment on national issues.
Yes, but I like the fact that he doesn't.
He's a big boy minister. Let's not even go there.
There are levels.
He's a big boy minister.
We know. Minister is minister. They are all big. You know, Nigerian ministers.
Well, I wanted to call some ministers now, so I was like, would I have not heard of them
as if we're shading them. So let's just
okay.
Let's move on to reaction.
Can't you see that there's some ministers that ever since their official, what's that word? Is it inauguration? I'll call it. We haven't heard anything about them.
That's why
working silently. They're moving in silence like they earn in lasagna.
That's why
like the G in
lasagna.
That's why we're going to take our time. Hopefully next week we need to analyze. We need to look at what the ministers are really doing.
And the silent ones. We should have a segment called, and that's a good idea for you in Nigeria. Say, ode to the silent ministers.
Yeah. It's a drawing.
Jima soon. Okay, let's take a reaction to Festus Keyamo's, not just Festus Keyamo's reaction, but of course Atiku's letter announcing this. Madi Shehu says, this Keyamo of it, this is in response to Keyamo. Wow.
I can't read.
Of course, we know Madi Shehu.
I can't read that first one, but let's go. He said, which insensitivity is more grievous between Atiku's resignation during the bemoaning period of Buhari and that of Bola Tinubu, who abandoned Nigeria for a jamboree visit to St. Lucia and Brazil during the same week and mourning period of over 422 Nigerians killed in between Benue, Taraba, Niger, Yobe, Sokoto, and Zamfara. Which insensitivity is greater and more callous between Atiku's resignation during a mourning period of PMB?
It's mourning, by the way, because children might be watching. And we need to teach them proper spelling.
Mourning. During the mourning period of PNB and that of Bola Tinubu, who kept silent and mum over the claim by Senate Committee on Public Accounts that a handful of NNPCL officials stole, diverted, misapplied, misappropriated $7 billion meant for the turnaround maintenance and repairs of Warri, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt refineries. Which insensitivity stinks and smells to high heaven between Atiku's resignation during a mourning period, that of Bola, who kept mum, looked away, and remained silent at the time when the Senate Committee on Public Accounts discovered that the sum of 210 trillion naira crude oil sale proceeds remain unaccounted by the NNPCL between 2017 and 2023. If this is the way the senior advocate in him reasons, behaves and thinks, then God save the weak. God save the bad. God save the bad. God save the his would-be clients in court was appreciation. This
stop.
That have just touched all of us.
Where's the
my learned colleagues?
What's it called? Where's the content? It's okay.
I don't know how this is pronounced. I'm going to try. Oveve Kuve.
You got it.
Keyamo wants to resume for where he stopped in 2023. Aisha Yusufu asks. We have other reactions. Says, today is not the best day to attack Atiku on his political post. By attacking him, you have committed same blunder. That's a point there. Let's go back. Let's pause there for a bit.
Click back.
Let's pause there for a bit.
Wow. Guys, let's analyze.
You know what this reminds me?
Digest this.
He says, to the same measure with which you judge others, you will also be judged. Because if you say that now is not the time to announce your resignation because you are
also using that same period
to now
engage in political fights.
Yes.
And you're
and wrestle.
One cold bottle of whatever it is you drink.
Political WWE.
Yes. Wrong timing too.
All right, now let's move to the next tweet. Ifedayo says, I will be disappointed if you've eaten since President Buhari passed through.
Since we are mourning now.
Okay.
You have to be humble.
Well, when they cry, they see road. Okay, let's...
you can cry with one eye and leave the other eye.
All right, let's go to another tweet, I believe. Or is this...
yeah, I mean, I think that's all the tweets we're going to take.
But I would like to respond to the first tweet we took. I mean, that's the beauty of democracy.
But then again,
freedom of expression. You say something, and of course you expect a response.
Gbenga,
that was a very poignant response.
That's a strong one. Let me also highlight.
Accept the first two lines.
Let me also let's also highlight
the dominance, the insult.
We just want to highlight here that the same period the late president died, the special advisor to the president, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, also tweeted about Nigeria's reaction to the U.S. visa policy. Okay? So should he have tweeted when, you know, it was arrangements for the burial and so on? Should he have also talked about it, or should have just kept mum and waited for it?
Portfolio allows him to share information with Nigeria's media.
So can we also say that the politician also has the right to write, or could Peter Obi have also written reasons why he couldn't get there on time? Would it have been seen as a political clout chasing?
No.
Because he didn't go there, so he put up a long story of why he didn't get there during this whole period. Or should have just kept mum and get there on time?
So, I mean, Mr. Kiyama has just
where are we going with this?
Earnestness.
Yeah, where we're going with this is, it does, see, when people have lost a loved one, let them mourn. Let them do that in peace. Don't stare one reaction or the other just to try and score a point. That's what I think. Whether exactly. If His Excellency Atiku Abubakar has his own office, so if his office and his team have decided to say, we have a fixed date to put out this letter,
yeah, so
it shouldn't stop you. It's their business. You focus. The key thing is, he was there yesterday. And that's what matters. And guess what? There was a footage that actually surfaced online showing that the former vice president was one of those who had visited the late president right before he was flown out.
Oh, yes, we saw that. And I believe we shared it earlier.
Why didn't he also highlight that, Your Excellency, I remember when you had paid a condolence visit, rather, to him before he was actually flown outside of the country for treatment. You know, so some of these things we have to be careful. But then again, I must give the points to the whistleblower himself, Mr. Madi Shehu, for highlighting those key things. When people died, was there any that's why I said earlier on that I was expecting that the former minister will also make some statements.
Okay,
so guys,
I think we should also let the audience know.
Yeah.
You know, let's get your thoughts about this. Do you think that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's announcement of his defection during the period of mourning late President Muhammadu Buhari's demise, do you think that it was insensitive, or do you think it was just perfect timing? Please go on YouTube. We're streaming live at New Central TV. I'll check the comment section.
Or tweet at us. X us.
X.
And use the hashtag. Don't X us.
No.
Yeah, just
tweet X us.
And what I'm asking them to react is because we can say, on the one hand, that he's free to do whatever he wants.
We could do a poll.
But when Nigerian celebrities, in the midst of the, terrible things happening, the killings and the attacks happening in the middle belts, when they decide to go ahead with their lives and their followers decide to drag them and say you're being insensitive, is it not the same rule that applies? So when they say, oh, now is not a good time, can't you see we are mourning, now it's not the time to post your show, we see that happen all the time. So there's such a thing as, understanding what the climate is about. But let's get your thoughts.
Reading the room.
Raphael Edward has a message for you, Gbenga.
Yeah, I saw that.
He says, the lie you people always tell yourselves about Atiku being in Dubai just shows that you are biased.
Gbenga, are you biased?
Are you biased?
He used to be in Dubai for a long time. I'm just reporting information that is...
As a journalist, you follow that story as well. But let's move on to our last wake-up conversation. We're going to be very fast with this. Sometime, let's just say years ago, a former governor was actually charged to court. And it was an 11-count charge bordering on stealing and money laundering. And, of course, we all know him as a politician, one who doesn't hide his mouth, he speaks up, and one who had created a meme for Nigerians, and also through his vocal cord, shouting, Sifie Paints. I'm sure you know Sifia.
His brother is also his brother is also very vocal. I think it's a family thing.
Yeah, it's a family thing.
Yeah, but they should be celebrating now.
Yeah, I mean, he's celebrating. Let's take a look at the video, then we'll tell you the story. So just watch this video. It's breakfast, but look at what he's having.
That's why we are celebrating with amala.
Yes.
Yes. Jesus Christ says, these ones are my family. These are my family members. This gentleman here. We thank God for giving me victory after 7 years. We give all the glory to God.
Thank you, Lord.
I hope you are enjoying your amala. Yes. Enjoy it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your amala. That is His Excellency Ayo Fayose.
Yes.
One thing I've always seen the former governor as, you know the funny thing, I have never really looked at him as a governor of what we know in Nigeria, as a governor in Nigeria, and I'll tell you why. His modus operandi is different.
Oh, you mean status? Yes.
Status. The way he for me, I think he's just, if I were going to say there was another Peter Obi, I would say that's him. Because on Okada, you see him on the bike.
Yeah, eating corn.
Eating corn, and that is his life. It's not that, he's not doing it for the cameras. I remember when there was a video that caught him taking a bike from Ikeja. He was about to miss his flight to the airport, and he jumped and climbed the bike. And you know, he left his security operator. I don't care. He was on the road. There were other videos and all that. But anyway, that's just to backtrack. The point is, he was actually charged, like we said, 11-count charge on money laundering over 6.9 billion naira. And finally, he's gotten.
So it's what celebration?
Yeah.
I also have to commend him for, you know, looking inwards and using amala to celebrate. Normally,
by the way,
I remember when Olive was called to
he's always known to eat amala.
It was champagne. We normally buy foreign, but he's following the government's policy of let's, you know, buy Nigeria to grow the naira,
that's what
and that's amala.
So he can celebrate with amala. He can celebrate with Gary for all we care. I think we should not. I mean, it's funny, it's interesting, but coming back to the main issue, yes, there was a case against him. He was charged with a 6.9 billion naira court case. The Federal High Court in Lagos had said that, you know, had dismissed, said that there wasn't substantial evidence linking him, that the EFCC did not provide substantial evidence linking him to the commission of the offense. And that is something to be probed.
Yeah.
The defense, the witnesses that the EFCC brought, that, you know, their case wasn't strong enough to link Aidele Fayose to the commission of the crime. So the question is, did the EFCC do its due diligence? They do a thorough job. We know that when it comes to legal cases in Nigeria, not a lot of them can be frustrated by technical irregularities. So did they do their due diligence? Or was it, again, as the EFCC has been accused, a media trial where they just sensationalize the news because it's a public figure, they come and tell us that they're suing this person for so and so, but then nothing comes out of it. I think that's a question to delve deeper into. The EFCC has said that they're going to appeal this judgment, you know, and we, of course, will see what the next steps are. He's celebrating his win, but did they do a thorough enough job?
Fantastic analysis, Olive. You just hit the nail on the head. Because we've oftentimes, look, the EFCC is wrong with taxpayers' money, and they can't, it would be nice to see their scorecard in terms of the amount of judgments they've gotten in their favor. It's one thing to announce arrest and sensationalize and do media trials. It's another thing to secure convictions. While Mr. Fayose might be celebrating, we also need to understand how the judiciary works. The judiciary doesn't work on
It's not a Father Christmas. Because it's work with the facts
with the facts presented before it, beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, but also don't forget that the former governor also, in his own jurisdiction, had also filed a no case submission at a certain point. So when he filed that, that also led to what we see here, which is also the result of him being acquitted, and he's celebrating. However, just as Oliver has equally highlighted, the EFCC spokesperson says they are going to, they would go through the entire court summation, the entire court case, and look thoroughly. And the reason why we must also, at some point, I'm just going to stand for the EFCC here now, is the fact that there's always transitions. We've seen different people head the EFCC at different times. Obviously, we know that.
But the lawyers are permanent.
We shouldn't affect.
And even if the lawyers
there was a former chief, there was a former judge on this case before the judge left, and then there was another one. I'm just saying this because we know how the Nigerian system works. Let's just be frank and clear. We're not saying that if there was a crime and he was found guilty, he shouldn't be convicted. We're not saying that. We're just saying that definitely, I agree with you that the process needs to be checkmated.
Let me even read here. It says, the court held that the EFCC had not been able to establish or link Fayose to the crime. Neither was a prima facie case made against him to warrant defense.
That's what I'm saying.
A prima facie case wasn't established.
That's what I'm saying.
So
the basic,
that's
the
like
elementary.
basic.
So that's what I'm saying.
101.
Since 2018,
Yeah, so EFCC, long and short of it, they should channel their energy into into their legal team, do a better job and prioritize convictions rather than going
that's
after people
that's why I'm highlighting one thing that we almost agree, whether we like it or not here this morning. The fact that the EFCC has been seen as an anti-graft agency that is mostly being used for perpetuating actions driven by either the political interest, which is for political interest. We will continue to have situations like this.
Exactly.
Now, it could be that the former EFCC boss, who was Bauer, while he was there, it could be that there was someone else who had his own political interest to ensure that whatever happens, this particular person, I must see him arrested.
Institutions should be independent
now,
of
that's
the
the problem in
interference.
Nigeria. Are they?
I mean, we're going to take reactions now. Oba says, Fayose really said, from court to canteen, amala and 6.9 billion naira digest better with the people. Man's living proof that in Nigeria, you beat the case, you bless the plate.
That's right, man. That's right. Oba vibes.
Yes. Man, Egosa Igbin says, after they don't destroy and loot the country dry, they're going to start to quote scripture.
Yes, so.
That's from Egosa. This one says, cost of revenue, lawyer legal fees 10 million naira, amala and drinks for the self and workers 24,750. Gross
How
profit.
did you get that calculation?
See the gross profit. So there's still a lot.
Please, can we have that video before we leave? I want to highlight something very important.
Yeah, amala cannot even
so you can see that video in the background. What caught my attention is, on a lighter note, is the guys using cutlery to eat amala.
Okay, those are the
construction workers. But I guess,
no, I understand.
it's safety first, yes, because they have taught a lot of cement and potter.
So just in case you're wondering, 6.9 billion
That's
sounds it sounds a lot. Let's take a few more tweets and I'll come back to just briefly touch on what the details of it are. Fayose and stomach infrastructure are 5 and 6. I mean, that phrase will never go out of Nigeria's political conversations. Stomach infrastructure. Meanwhile, another governor don't escape jail. Hey, this is from CB Marco. This Nigeria, fake life plenty. The person will buy you food, they use hand. And people will know sabi use spoon, eat local food, they pretend using spoon. Or guys, not pretend. They've been working. Their hands are dirty, as you can see. Make them use cement.
It takes a while to wash out cement.
Amala with a touch of cement.
Yes, you just have to use your cutlery.
Just so we're very clear, the issue is because they say Fayose allegedly took possession of 1.2 billion naira for his 2014 gubernatorial campaign and received $5 million in cash from Obanikoro, bypassing financial institutions, and he was also accused of laundering various sums, retaining and using over 1.6 billion naira to acquire properties through proxies and companies. These are some of the allegations against him. But information, I mean, this story continues. The EFCC says they will challenge this decision in court. Let's now share with you what our top stories this morning are on Breakfast Central.